1, 2. So we're going back and forth. 1, 2. Double mantis hook, tongue choi, hammer, ala choi, white punch, chow choi toppling, tip cow, and bung sao. First move, Vien palm, then prop and kick. Reverse punch, grab, cross kick, step back punch, left yu sao, side hammer, ala choi, then scoop wheel in that 7-star stance, right fist to the waist, yu sao, then 7-star punch. Then from there, I'm gonna step forward the right foot, strike, left knee breaking, hop thrusting, and hammer fist strike in that 7-star stance. So we'll have our hands on our hips or hands behind our back, that way we're not thinking about it. But again, all we're gonna do is open up the front foot at a 45-degree angle, and I'm gonna uproot. Okay, so I wanna skim the ground with the bottom of my foot, more towards the heel side, and try to go based on sound. So in sounding and feeling, so if you barely skim the ground or you miss, you should be able to feel that and hear that. If you go too much, then the neighbors are probably gonna be upset, at least our downstairs neighbors. But try to get just the right amount. So you're gonna open up and just skim. Okay, so try that just on one side for now. See if you can try to get like 3 consistent skims in a row. The idea of the uprooting kick is your feet are supposed to be rooted to the ground. You wanna feel heavy, as if someone's trying to pick you up and you're trying to make yourself heavy. But what you're trying to do to the opponent is uproot their feet. You're trying to make them have to stand up and their feet get disconnected from the ground. One way you're gonna challenge this skill is I'm gonna start off left foot forward again, but this time, instead of just opening up in the same spot and kicking, I'm gonna start changing where I root that left foot. So I'm gonna hop forward and then uproot, and I might find myself fall off balance a little bit. I might try to go a little bit to the side and kick. I'm still trying to keep my balance. So start to experiment how far you could go or how much sideways you can go and still get that uprooting kick and still be balanced. You're trying to discover the edge of your limit and trying to push it just a little bit extra. So now we're right foot forward, and then I'm gonna hop in different angles and uproot and still try to keep my balance as best I can. You're reaching out in front, the other hand has to circle around, and then you're gonna strike out in front. It starts off with the palm and then it turns into a mantis hook. From the side view, I'm grabbing, I wanna make sure I reach out. So most of the time I see students get too close to their face. You actually wanna reach out with that hand and deuce out on contact, and then this hand has to go all the way around to the left ear, and as it pulls in, that's when you strike all the way out in front of you. Circle, strike. Okay. Another common mistake that I see is the first deuce out will be correct, but then the offhand will just reach across to the ear. You want to make sure the hand goes up and around, and then you can strike. And then all the way around and strike. If I try to just bring my hand to the ear, that's the equivalent of here and then going and hitting my own arm against her arm. So then I can't really do the technique. I have to go up and around. So now that arm is underneath my armpit and I can strike from here. Even if she blocks, that's okay, because I'm in a much better position because I have this arm trapped. So she can't hit me with this arm anymore, and this hand is used to blocking. So that puts me in a much better position if I grab here and then go over than trying to go under, because here she can easily hit me in the face up on top, and I can hit her in the stomach, but now we're even Steven. It's an even game here. So I want to make sure that I go on top, I protect myself, and then it puts her in a bad position. Okay, so that's the reason why I want to grab, circle on top, and then strike. We'll just go 1, it's a counterclockwise circle, and then strike. Circle, strike, strike. Eventually, it's one smooth move. The right hand, I kind of fire it, meaning when I fire striking from left to right, as it circles around, right around, once it passes the 12 o'clock position and it starts to go a little bit further, I start to strike, because then the descent helps me go around. I don't want to wait until it's all the way here before I pull the trigger, because then it's liable to start going underneath a little bit, and I don't want to trigger too soon because then I don't get all the way around to the ear. I want to try to fire it right around this area, depending on how fast I go. So if I go really fast, I might have to fire it even earlier. If I go slow, I'll have to wait a little bit more and then strike. But I want to think of firing while it's still circling. Yep. E. What are some common mistakes that you guys see in this technique? Yeah, that's true. This hand tends to not be bent.
What I mean with the two hands.
Sometimes one might go way too early and then strike, or it might kind of happen at the same time. Yeah, that's true. There's still one more that I tend to see almost all the time. Yep, not doing the hook. So the hand will end up just being straight as opposed to bending the wrist. So the Mantis hand, the one that's striking on front, you want to make sure that's completely bent. So from the front view, it's bent, striking versus straight. So we'll go 1, 2. So we're going back and forth. 1, 2. Stomp, strike, strike. Yep. E. Some.